Hello and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. This is your host, Vidakovic, and on this podcast, I'll be sharing with you the most valuable strategies to live your one wildly beautiful and most precious life. Because this is it, my friend. In case you haven't guessed, when it comes to life, there's no rewind or pause button that exists. They say that the way that you spend your days is the way that you spend your life. So my one and only goal here is to help you stop wasting your time, stop holding yourself back in life, stop experiencing non-stop negative mind chatter, stop just dreaming without doing, and start living life fearlessly instead, with more purpose, focus, and intention. I sincerely want you to live life in a way that when you come to the end of it, you know deep down in your heart that you 100% gave it your all, flaws and all. This podcast is not about doing life perfectly. Instead, it is about experiencing and living life with more clarity and courage and truly appreciating this precious adventure that we are so blessed to be on. So if you're with me here today, it's time to stop spinning in circles, get off the hamster wheel for good, put your hands back on the steering wheel of your life, and finally start living life in a way that you won't later regret. With that being said, let's dive on in. Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I'm your host, Vidakovic, and can you believe that I'm recording for you today, episode 350? So to celebrate this milestone with you, I want to share with you a piece of the most golden advice that I've been carrying around with me this entire month, and I'm so excited to finally have the opportunity to share this wisdom with you. But before we dive in, I just want to give you a little update on my life and my work and what I've been up to over the last few weeks. So honestly, it feels like winter has come really early this year in Sydney, Australia. It doesn't usually get super cold till after my birthday, which is at the end of the month, but it's definitely come early. So we're really rugged up. And this month I have been working on re-recording all the videos for my two big signature courses, Your Invisible Crown and Your Magic Wand. There's actually 10 hours of new content inside Your Invisible Crown and close to 5 hours of new content inside Your Magic Wand. So these are the two big signature courses that I created whenever I first started creating courses. And I really wanted to revisit them this year so that they all have the most up-to-date content that is reflective of my current thoughts and beliefs and teachings. And they are now perfect. They are out in the world again, and I'm so excited about that. So Your Invisible Crown, in case you've never heard of that course before, I created that with one vision in mind, to help you finally live life with more intention, more calm, more purpose, and less stress and regret and overwhelm, so that you can quite simply show up as the best version of yourself each day. And after decades of working in the personal development field as a life coach with a degree in psychology, I have incorporated all of the most effective coaching tools and resources here in this course. So put simply, I consider Your Invisible Crown to be the quickest tool to help you get from where you are now to where you want to be, even if you don't know where that is just yet. And then we have Your Magic Wand, which is my self-paced coaching program designed to help you achieve whatever goal you have on your heart without breaking the bank. So I share with you the exact tools and framework for my personal coaching business that I take all my one-on-one clients through, and my coaching framework works. It works at helping you break down and achieve your goals in 3 months with a clear strategy and process to follow. And this do-it-yourself coaching program, so it's self-paced, was created to allow you to experience the amazing power of life coaching without the high-end price tag. And put simply, inside Your Magic Wand, I've replicated my entire 12-week coaching program as an online course. And then with a final little piece of news that I have to share with you, Inspiring Life Academy will be closing for enrollment at the end of this month. So if you heard about this offer and thought, oh my gosh, I have to jump in straight away, well, this is your last chance to grab it. Every single course and every single coaching roadmap that I've ever created at a ridiculously low price. And I created this offer just to allow those who are financially stretched to be able to invest in their personal growth. And I felt absolutely honored to offer this to you for a short time, only a short limited time. Now it is time to close off a launch. And if you are interested, please know you've just got a little bit more time before it closes permanently. If it ever does come back, it will be definitely at a different price point. And you can find the info for this offer at inspiringmomlife.com/academy. So with that being said, my friend, I'm about to share with you what I feel like is the most golden advice. I only just discovered this for myself a few weeks ago, and I've been so excited to share it with you. So I discovered this particular exercise I'm going to take you through a few weeks ago when I was at my son's wheelchair soccer national competition, and in between games I decided I'll just read a book while I'm waiting for the next game to start. So I went to my books app on my phone, where I literally, I'm not kidding, I have over 200 books downloaded for me to read, and I thought, I just want to read something new. So I opened up a book called Be Your Future Self Now by Benjamin Hardy. And even though I, for many years, embraced this concept of stepping into your future self and living as the best version of yourself today, just by channeling that energy of your best future self, I can't actually believe it's taken me this long to actually look at this book, because inside it, I discovered the most amazing exercise that I've been implementing in my life ever since then. And I want to share it with you here on this episode. And I have to note, I didn't read the entire book. I just read portions of it that day, and I haven't picked it up since then. But what I did read was enough to transform the way that I show up in my life every single day since then. Okay, so allow me to share with you just some portions or excerpts from this book, and then I'm going to explain to you why I think this is the very best advice that I've ever come across in my decades of immersing myself into personal growth books and on my personal development journey. Okay, this comes up top. So Benjamin Hardy wrote, and please note, this is almost like an experiment he was doing. He wrote, I decided to live the rest of my days as if I were my future self 20 years into the future, and my future self had the opportunity to time travel back and relive the rest of today. So if your future self 20 years from now had a conversation with you, what would they say? How would your future self view your current situation? How differently would you act with your future self in mind? How would my future self feel? And what would they do if I were to come back today from 20 years in the future and live my life for the rest of today? So live as if you were living already for the second time, and as if you'd acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now. It seems to me that there is nothing which can stimulate a man's sense of responsibility more than this maxim, which invites him to imagine first that the present is past, and second, that the past may yet be changed and amended. So memento mori is the ancient Stoic term for keeping death always on your mind to fully value and appreciate this moment. So seeing your current life through the eyes of your future self, you see opportunities you were previously blind to. If you stay connected with your future self, you'll value your present. My future self would have handled this situation differently and better than my current me. And tapping into my future self and living as my future self has changed everything. Okay, so those were little bit of portions of the book that I'd highlighted when I was reading it, and that I've sort of put all together. But the gist of this exercise that he was suggesting that we do, these wise words, is that he asks you to imagine that you are 20 years older. So your future self is coming back to really relive this moment. So it's almost like myself as a 67-year-old coming back to live this moment in time as a 47-year-old again. Okay, so you lived it once, 20 years in the future, and you're coming back to experience this moment again. Now, I already know that my experience of this day would be completely different. Imagine, I would look in the mirror, and instead of thinking, I'm starting to look a little old, I'm heading towards 50, I would stare at the mirror and I would think to myself, I have the most amazing skin. Okay, because when I'm 67, my skin's going to look a little different. I'm going to look at my 47-year-old body and think, my gosh, what a great and toned, healthy body I have with zero aches and pain. How lucky I am. And I would look at my two dogs, which you can probably hear snoring right now as I record, and they're definitely not going to be around in 20 years' time, because Scooter is 10. They would have passed away by then. And I would right now, as my 67-year-old coming back to this moment, appreciate them so much. Our walks, our cuddles, just their presence in my home. And I would look at my kids who are now 16 and 18 and feel so grateful that they're still with me at home. Because who knows where they're going to be when they're 36 and 38. But they are right now here with me to chat with, to spend time with, to enjoy and love. And I would feel so freaking blessed about this fact if I was from the future, 67-year-old, coming back to live this moment again. And I would definitely be relishing every moment that I have with my parents who are now in their 70s, because there's a good chance that they're not going to be around in 20 years' time. So I would just soak in their presence, soak in their love, chat to them in a way that I would never have thought to chat had I not really considered the fact that, life is impermanent and no one's going to be around here forever. I would just basically love everything more about my life right now if I was acting as my future self from the future, that 67-year-old coming back to experience that day again. I can't even believe I'm saying that number 67, but you get what I mean. I would take more chances. I would do more things. I would laugh more. I'd relax more. I'd create more. I'd be more. If I was acting as my future self who had the opportunity to time travel back and relive the rest of today. So embrace this golden advice by Benjamin Hardy. Go and read his book. It's amazing what I've read so far, because it 100% has the power to change the way that you show up I know just by reading a portion of it, it's changed my life so far. And I think that we all intuitively know that in 20 years' time, we're going to look back at this moment in time and think, my gosh, like those days were filled with so much opportunity. Why didn't I fully embrace them back then? Why didn't I appreciate it more when it was happening? But you can. Like I can already see now that my kids are older, like when I look back at my life, back at my 20s, and I reminisce, it's like those years living abroad, they were so amazing. Then I look back when my kids were really little, like they were so cute and little, and I think, my gosh, like that was so much fun hanging around with them when they were young. Except of course, like you don't realize it when it's happening. You realize it once the time has passed. And then I remember when my kids started high school, like we were already referring to those primary school years as the good old days because they were filled with constant play dates and trips away and so forth. And then guess what happened? My daughter finished high school last year. She started university, and then we realized that the high school years were actually the good old days, okay? But the good old days are always happening as we speak. Like you may not realize it now if you're living in a present day bubble and you're not really thinking too much about the future and the past and so forth. But if you were to come back as a version of yourself like 20 years in the future and come back today to like to relive this moment, they would have a different perspective. And even if you're going through a really terrible, difficult time, you still have the power of choice. You have the power to make new decisions. You have the power to change your life, the direction of your life. And that in itself is the most incredible thing. So take advantage of that, my friend. And thank you so much for sticking with me for 350 amazing episodes. Make sure to utilize this exercise at least once today. Pretend you are whatever age you are, plus 20, coming back to experience this day today. What would you do differently, my friend? Please know I love and appreciate you all. Much love, and I cannot wait to catch up with you on the next episode. Take care, my friend. Thank you so much for listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast. I really appreciate you allowing me to be a part of your life. If you'd love to stay in touch, please know that you can always find me on Instagram at Vidakovic, or you can visit my website, inspiringmumlife.com, where you can sign up and receive so many amazing freebies that I've created just for you to help you implement all my teachings into practice. There you'll also find all my online courses, resources and programs that I've created to help you up-level your life in seriously the simplest way possible, so that you can ultimately create for yourself a life that feels simpler, lighter, and allows you to show up in a way that you love as your best and most authentic version of yourself. Now remember, this podcast is all about not just dreaming but also doing, because to create true sustainable change in your life, you need to be willing to do things differently. And that's what I'm here to support you to do every single step along the way, so that you too can begin to live your one wild and precious life with less stress, less overwhelm, less drama, and instead with zero regrets. Finally, if this podcast resonates with you at all and you appreciate the content, I would absolutely love for you to show your support by leaving me a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm on a mission to help more people wake up to the preciousness of life and to help them live their days with more intention and purpose, and your review will help make this goal of mine possible. Well, once again, thank you so much. I have loved spending this time with you, and I look forward to connecting with you again. I am Vidakovic, and you have been listening to the Inspiring Life School podcast.